Hi everyone, it's Daniel here. Today I'll be talking about a production company, and I'll be talking about the Welsh company Bumper Films, who have been responsible for making four iconic children's shows. Well, I don't know about all of them, but one of them is like really popular, and today I've decided to go through them all and rank them from my least favourite to most favourite, which shouldn't be hard at all. Why am I doing this? Well, I've recently just rewatched like most of these shows. Most of the episodes. I actually have a couple of tapes and a DVD here, which I'll show you in a bit. But I'm 21 now, and I've been reminiscing of my childhood and been going back to like old children's shows I used to watch, like all the classic good ones. All the ones that are definitely worth watching and definitely good for children's brains. And good for their mindset, if you get what I mean. And I've been raised up well, luckily, with all these classic shows. And it's like, and also it's like when you realise like someone famous like voice characters in a show, all these shows included. It's like Thomas and Friends. You had Ringo Starr, obviously the drummer of the Beatles, and then Michael Angelis. Of course, he's been in a lot of Alan Bleasdale dramas, and I'm a big Alan Bleasdale fan myself. But we're not talking about other shows. We're just going to be talking about Bumper Films. They are a Welsh stop motion production company. They were founded in 1983, I think, because that's when the first show began, and then closed down in 2002. So we miss you, Bumper Films, but to remember you, I'll be ranking all of your shows. So I don't have them all on physical, but one of them only got a home release, home release on DVD in Australia, even though it's a Welsh British show. I know. That's very odd, but oh well. Anyhow, let's start the ranking list. Like I said, there's four of them, and we can take our time a bit. I can tell you a little bit of history of that show and give you my personal opinion, which that's what I'm doing anyways. But anyhow, let's start this list. So at number 4, I'm going to go with their first show, which is Rocky Hollow from 1983 to 1985, I think. I believe the show lasted 3 seasons, and you'll notice a pattern with these shows. I think there might have been 3 seasons because there were 3 tapes released: Rocky Hollow 1, Rocky Hollow 2, and Rocky Hollow 3, even though that one's not been found yet. So this show's kind of lost media, but I do actually own a VHS tape, and I have reviewed this, so I'll leave a link to that in the description. And Rocky Hollow 2, narrated by Peter Sallis. Where have we heard that name before? Wallace and Gromit, and Clegg from Master of the Summer 1, and Sidney Bliss from the first series of The New Statesman. So I really like this show. It's simple, it has the least amount of characters, but So the characters we have are Mr. Oak. He's the old man of the village. Acorn, he's basically the the Norman Price of the series. Miss Myrtle, I believe that's her name. Yes, I'm correct. And we have Sycamore, who works for Mr. Oak. And then we have Rosie, the pigeon, and Conker, who's not on here, but he's I think he's a woodcutter. But I think this is a really good show, even though it's quite obscure. I'll show you the tape if you want. I remember one episode where I think there was a vase involved or something. And then this episode is where Miss Mel's trying to get a photo taken, but Acorn keeps getting in the way. And he's got an ice cream, and I haven't watched this show in a while. I believe 1 and 2 are both on YouTube, so you can watch them for free. And this VHS tape was really rare. I don't know how I bumped into it, but luckily asked for it and got it for Christmas. And 10 years ago, I know, 10 years ago. But I think this show's charming. The puppets, they're not the best looking, but this was their first show, so you got to let them off for that. And it lasted 3 seasons, well, I'm assuming, because 3 tapes are released. But it has a small cast, it's simple. That's what I love about these old classic children's shows, They don't have a lot of characters, they pretty much just have a cast, not a main recurring regular cast, whatever, like in other shows. How you have characters popping in and out. These shows just stick to whoever's in the village and just focuses on them. Sometimes I'll focus on another character more than another, like switch around in different episodes, but and I forgot to mention this episode, they're doing a magic act. That's pretty cool. And not watched the show in a while. I think Peter Sallis voices the characters very well, and not a bad show, but it'll get better from here. So Rocky Horror is my 4th favourite bumper film show. It's at the bottom, but there's no real wrong answer. If you think Rocky Horror is your favourite, then if you remember this show, please do let me know. So cool how Peter Sallis narrated this show. I was like, I know that name. Anyhow, let's move on to number 3. My 3rd favourite bumper films show is Star Hill Ponies, which lasted from 1999 to 2002 and was their last production. I'm going to be honest with you all, I didn't watch the show until much recently, and I didn't have high expectations for it, but I was wrong. I really enjoyed this show. It definitely feels like a late 90s, early 2000s show, as you can tell by the theme song, with the electronic drums, the folky guitars, and the organ. And of course you got a thumpy bass line, Gotta have bass in a song. This show focuses on 3 ponies, Molly, Dylan and Scruffy. They all live on Star Hill Farm, which is owned by Will and Kath, and they also have a daughter called Baz who adores the ponies, and she's also got a cat called Ethel who sometimes gets stuck in the pony situations. And you can tell Baz loves the ponies, and I think she's a great character. We also have a best friend Thomas who he gets stuck in situations at times, and one episode Dylan comes to the rescue, and him and Thomas become really good friends because Thomas is a bit scared of going near Dylan, and ends up riding him and getting help. We also have a character called Jim who reminds me of another bumper films character, which we'll talk about in a bit, but he's pretty much Baz's go-to. If she wants to find out something about the ponies, Jim will know. And he's got his own little caravan. And then we also have Mrs. HM or Mrs. Horace Morris, which she's this rich snobby woman, but she's charming. I think she's funny, and she always gets into really bad situations, which you do feel for her. And she's not keen on the ponies. I won't say she dislikes them, that's harsh, but she's not that keen on them because of how much trouble they cause, especially Scruffy, the little one. But I think Scruffy's my favourite. Molly's the oldest one. She doesn't get out much, but she has a close friendship with Jim. Dylan gets rode the most by Baz, and then Scruffy's the little one who causes so much trouble. I know he's pretty much like a dog, really. And then we've also got another character called Ambrose who works at the shop at the seaside. Kind of reminds me of me, really. He's like this tall guy, wears green, longish hair, loves music, and he's very clumsy. So definitely reminds me of other bumper films characters as well. There's like a pattern here with the characters. I think he's charming. He's one of my favourite characters in the show, and he works for Mrs. HM, and like I said, he owns a shop by the seaside. I remember the episode with the unlucky horseshoe, and that was quite a funny episode. This show lasted 2 seasons, and the animation here is a big improvement from their last few shows, and obviously it's in HD. It's a late 90s, early 2000s show. And I think it's charming. My favourite episode is probably the last episode. Really sweet way to end off the show and to end Bumper Film's career. The episode is called All I Want for Christmas. Just a fantastic Christmas episode, and you have all the characters, and also in series 2 we get introduced to 2 new characters, Lottie, who owns the mobile shop, and Nick, who's the blacksmith. So they're really nice characters and great addition to the show. Style Ponies, this show's really good, I think. Some of the episodes are more laid back than others, but it has a nice pace in my opinion. And Bumper Films did something they hadn't done before. You know, stick to a 13 episode format. Did 2 seasons. That's all they had to do, and yeah, great way to end off their career. So yeah, Style Ponies, get a thumbs up from me. There are home releases of the show. I think there's a few VHS tapes. I think there's, I don't know, a few, 1, 2, I don't know. But I think, the show is definitely on DVD. I know that. And not international, so, well, might be international, but here in the UK as well. But yeah, anyhow, in general, Style Ponies, brilliant show. I really enjoyed it, and the theme song got stuck in my head for ages. But yeah, so that's my number 3, Style Ponies from 1999 to 2002, the last production Bumper Films ever did. So let's move on to my number 2. So yeah, my second favourite Bumper Film show is Joshua Jones. Now this is a great show. Definitely not far behind from the show that came before and after. But yeah, Joshua Jones is brilliant. I also forgot to mention Star Hill Ponies. The show had Josie Lawrence and Andrew Sachs voicing the characters. I've definitely heard the name Andrew Sachs before. Have you? Manuel Fawlty Towers, of course. But yeah, in this show we have George Layton, which he played Solly in the first 2 seasons of 8.5 Hot Mum, and Barbara Flynn, who played the milkwoman in Open All Hours and has done plenty of other stuff as well, and both are still active. So yeah, they do great jobs narrating and voicing the characters. Well, George narrates the show and voices all the male characters and the animals as well. And then Barbara Flynn voices all the female characters, that's cool. This show's brilliant, I love it. Very charming. Has the same sort of wit as the other show, which I've not talked about yet, but I'll talk about it soon. The characters we have are Joshua Jones. Of course, he's the main character. He rides a barge and he loves to help his local villagers. And then he has a dog called Fairport, which I think Fairport's charming, and yeah, I love dogs, so yeah. Who are the other characters? We have the sort of antagonist, snob of the show, Mr. Cashmore. I love him. His real name's Wilton. Yeah, he's just charming to watch, and he just gets into really stinky situations. That one where Mr. and Mrs. Bigot come over to his house, and yeah, and then he's under the table with his waitress Sharon, who owns a cafe in a van, which is pretty cool. And then her boyfriend Spanner, who works for Mr. Cashmore. He's clumsy. He reminds me of Rodney from Only Fools and Horses, especially in the first season. I think it's the jacket and the longish hair. And yeah, we also have Mr. Cashmore's daughter Fiona, and we have a best friend Ravi. His mum Dakasha works for Mr. Cashmore, and then we also have his grandfather Bapu, who's the admiral of the village. So yeah, and then we also have another character, Joe Lasky, who's the farmer, and then the local vet is Daphne Peacock. We also have another couple of other characters. We have Trojan, who appears in 3 episodes. Literally 1 episode is literally named after him, so that's pretty neat. Yeah, he's a horse rode by Fiona, and he gets stuck in the lake at one point, and Josh has to rescue him. And I think in another episode they're mistaking him for a monster or a ghost. I'm trying to remember. It's only been months since I last watched the show. And then we also have a parrot called Boomer, which Ravi forgets why he's called that. And it turns out he's called Boomer because he comes back like a boomerang. So, makes sense. And yeah, this show's just charming. I love it. You learn a lot from this show. And my favourite episode, probably, I don't know, Boomer's a great episode. Where Fiona and Ravi get stuck in the woods. They go canoeing and then get lost, and then and then Boomer has to come to the rescue, and yeah, just a brilliant show. I love it, and yeah, it still feels like an 80s show, but even though it came out in the early 90s, but that's not a problem, I don't think. And the music's really cool. Like the theme song has a nice reggae feel to it, and sung by Mel Pope as well. We also sung another theme song for another show, which we will get to that soon, trust me. And yeah, Joshua Jones is my second favourite bumper film show. I love it, and yeah, it's a shame it only lasted 12 episodes and it only got a release, home release in Australia, even though in the UK we did get VHS tapes but no DVD releases, but the show did get a full series release on DVD in Australia. I might get it, but yeah, I don't know. Australia's far away. Yeah, anyhow, that's my number 2. So Joshua Jones lasted from, I believe, 1991 to 1992. So that leaves one more show. And which show will that be? It's probably the less well-known show out of all these. Nah, I'm only joking. My number 1, Fireman Sam. Of course this had to be number 1. Who's never watched this show? Like, especially the original series. First 4 seasons, absolutely brilliant. Definitely has like a slice of life feel, you know. But, you know, there's a lot of energy in the show. The show was narrated by John Alderton, which we've probably heard that name before. And yeah, this show's just brilliant. Look, I've recently just bought season 1 on DVD under the name Norman's Tricky Day, which is actually one of my favourite episodes. So fun. Just Norman causing trouble. Yeah, this was when Norman was just a compulsive troublemaker. And, you know, every time he did something wrong, he like, karma would strike him back. And yeah. Anyway, yeah. And then, like, at the end of the episode, he has to clean Jupiter, I know. So, of course, the characters in this show, we have, of course, Sam, his niece and nephew, Sarah and James, who's, you know, get stuck in situations at times. We also have Elvis, of course, Station Officer Steele, Trevor Evans, the bus driver, Dennis Price, who owns the shop, her son Norman, who's, of course, the compulsive troublemaker, Bella Lasagna, who owns the cafe, and, of course, their cat Rosa, who gets stuck up a tree in one episode, which, yeah, season 1, you know, out of season 1 and season 2, in Wales, season 1 and 2 were both mashed into one season, which that's pretty cool. And kind of makes sense, really. You know, there's no new characters or anything, but yeah, and but we do get a Christmas special, Snow Business, which I really like that special, and yeah, I'll definitely have to watch it again at some point. So I've recently rewatched series 1 of this show. I remember bits of series 2. If I rewatch it, I'll definitely remember it all because I used to watch it quite a lot. And then we have series 3, which I did have one episode on a children's favourites DVD. The episode was Dillis's Forgetful Day, which also introduced a new character to the show, Penny Morris, who is the female firefighter of the crew. So yeah, Trevor occasionally works for the fire brigade, but you know. And then we also get introduced to a character called Bentley the robot, which he has his own episode. So yeah, I love the original Fireman Sam, so charming. And I'll probably say series 4 is my favourite because I had half of this series on VHS. The New Adventures of Fireman Sam. I've spoke about this tape before. The episodes are Deep Trouble for Sam, Quarry Rescue, Rich and Famous, which is probably my favourite episode of the classic series. I love that episode to death. Brilliant concept, you know. Dillis sets her attic on fire, and then while she's on the search for fame and fortune, and she ends up on the telly. Well done, Dillis. Quite an intense fire as well. Like, she's that close to it. Like, some of the situations can be like really silly in this show, of course, because, you know, it's a children's show, you know. They're not going to take things too far, are they? And, oh yeah, I forgot to mention the other episode, Home from Rome, where Bella and Rosa get stuck in the lift. So, yeah, I love Fireman Sam, especially the first 4 seasons. I really enjoyed season 5, but I'll always enjoy the more slice of life, relaxing charm of series 1 to 4, or seasons 1 to 4, however you want to say it. I'm not going to get into that debate again, but yeah, I think Joshua Jones is. Yes, he is. You can briefly see him there. Josh and Fairport. So yeah, Fireman Sam, love this show. A lot of great episodes. It's just a blast to watch. It's charming, slice of life. It's just a great British Welsh children's show, and yeah, no wonder this show's so iconic. And yeah, this is why the show is my number 1 favourite bumper film show. So yeah. Oh, and we can't forget about the amazing theme song that Fireman Sam had. Like, come on, just a brilliant theme song. Like, I heard someone say it sounds like a mix of Level 42 and the Smiths. I don't know, it's its own thing really. It's from the 80s, it's going to sound like it's from the 80s. You're going to have really cool electronic drums, rocking guitar, slap bass line, some really cool keyboards and synths. And yeah, just a brilliant theme song in general. So yeah, Fireman Sam definitely has the best theme song out of all the Bumper Films productions. Let's do a quick recap now. So, of course, number 1, my number 1 favourite Bumper Films show is Fireman Sam. My number 2 is Joshua Jones. Number 3 is Star Hill Ponies. And number 4, but still a pleasant watch, Rocky Hollow. So yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed this ranking of each Bumper Films show. There were only 4, but I think a couple of them were kind of hard to swap. But yeah, Joshua Jones and Star Hill Ponies. I mean, all these shows are just as grand as, like all great as each other, Like, all of them are charming. They're just great in general. And definitely worth, watching if you've never seen them. You've probably watched Fireman Sam or Joshua Jones, but Star Hill Ponies is brilliant to watch. And Rocky Hollow is charming. If you love Peter Sallis, then you'll love hearing his voice. So yeah, thanks once again, everyone. Please do let me know your ranking in the comments. I just want to know your opinions. So if your ranking list is completely different than mine, then yeah, please do let me know. So yeah, take care, everyone, and I shall see you all next time in a bit, and bye bye.